Hello YouTubers. Today let's talk about organization block. Organization blocks, or OBS, are the interface between the CPU operating system and the user program. They are used to do specific tasks on specific program sections, like at the startup of CPU, cyclic execution of the program, or clocked execution, error handling, or hardware interrupts. Every OB has its own priority, and its execution depends on that priority. There are numerous of OBs, but keep in mind that not all the CPUs can process all the OBs. Today let's talk about the OB1. OB1 is executed cyclically. After OB1 is executed, OS starts it over. This cyclic execution is started after the startup procedure has been completed, and starts over, until the stop of the CPU, or on the execution of the OB with the higher priority. Before every cycle, the operating system writes the process image output to the output modules, updates the process image input, and receives any global data for the CPU. Cycle has minimum and maximum time. S7 monitors the maximum cycle time, ensuring maximum response time. The default maximum cycle time is 150 milliseconds. You can find it in the properties of the CPU, in the hardware configuration. Open the hardware configuration of your project, find your CPU, open up its properties, and click on tab with the name, Cycle Clock Memory. Here you can see scan cycle monitor time in milliseconds. You can change that setting, but make sure that you know what you are doing. If your program exceeds the maximum cycle time for OB1, the operating system calls OB80. That is the time error OB. If OB80 is not present, and not programmed, then CPU goes to stop mode. By the way, by the help of the SFC43 you can restart time monitoring anywhere within your program. OB1 has lowest priority of all OBs. It means that any other OB can be started, even if execution of OB1 is not finished. In other words, OB1 can be interrupted by any other OB. Due to OB1's cyclic execution, one of its purpose is to execute user's program. If you open OB1, and look into the variable declaration table, you can see that there are some predefined variables in the temporary section. There are explanations of each variable. Let's walk through them. First one is event class and identifiers. Second one helps to identify the scan status. Third one is priority class. Fourth, OB number. Fifth and sixth, reserved for system. Seventh, runtime of previous scan in milliseconds. Eighth, minimum cycle time in milliseconds since the last startup. Ninth, maximum cycle time in milliseconds since the last startup. 10th, date of which OB was called. Let's create the data block with some records to monitor the temporary variables of OB1. These are the same type variables as in OB's variables declaration table. Switch to the OB1. Create a network, and pass the values from temporary memory location to the data block for monitor. Upload to the PLC for test. Event class shows that OB1 is active. Scan status, completion of the main cycle. Other statuses you can find in the description. Priority is 1, it means lowest priority. Number of OB is 1. Previous cycle jumps between 10 and 11 milliseconds. This variable can be used in programming for accurate timers. Next you can see minimum and maximum cycle time in milliseconds, from the last CPU startup. And last, decoded date and time when the OB was called. It increases constantly, as execution of OB1 is cyclic. Let's try to imitate that program exceeded maximum cycle time. As you can see, CPU stopped. Let's find out the cause of the stop. Diagnostic says, stop caused by time error, OB not loaded, or not possible, or no FRB. So, maximum cycle time was exceeded, and CPU went into stop mode, as no OB80 is programmed. That was a brief overview of organization block OB1. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe the channel.